Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to Crafty Chemist Designs. Today we are going to be making these beautiful scrapbook layouts. So stay tuned, go grab some paper, and you can craft along with me. I'm going to share this to the group real quick. If you hop on, say hello. If you are watching the replay, say hashtag replay. Okay, I just shared it to the group. How's everybody doing today? It was a really beautiful day here. I think it might have got up to 60 degrees. Okay, I shared to the group and I tagged everybody. So we should be good to start. We are going to be making the scrapbook layout. So if you want to craft along, I'm using the Nature Walk Designer Series paper plus sticker sheet. But if you want to craft along and use other paper, you will need probably, 2 sheets of cardstock. Probably a sheet and a half, maybe 2 sheets of cardstock for the mats. This might look like solid cardstock, but it is Designer Series paper, so 2 sheets of Designer Series paper. And then I have this coordinating cardstock. You need about half of a sheet. Okay, so grab that while we are getting started. Everybody. Okay. Hi, Mom. So today we went to an antiques fair. It was at the fairgrounds. So that was fun. And I did get a surprise for somebody who I'm not going to mention because they might be listening for their Easter basket. And Mom got some cookies. Actually, I have one right here. I was going to try and eat a bite before I started, but this is an Italian cookie with chocolate glaze. I didn't get a chance to eat it yet. So Mom got the cookies. I got a treat for somebody. Well, actually, Mom bought it because they only took cash. So she had cash. I did not. So she actually bought it. So when you get this, you can thank Grandma. And then we went out to dinner at a place called Reflections. I don't know, Diana, if you're on, maybe if I see you hop on later, I will ask you if you've been to Reflections, because last time I mentioned Bill's Pub and you said you've been to Bill's Pub. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. I am using the paper. It's called Nature Walk. It's 12 by 12 designer series paper. And I got it with the sticker sheet. Okay, so you can see I'm using the sticker sheet. So if you don't have the sticker sheet, you probably have some stamps you can use to decorate. It does come in a separate pack, so, but it's actually called Exploring Nature Sticker Sheet. But if you buy it as a bundle, you can buy it under the nature wall. I'll put a link here. So you can see I used some of it to make this. We'll use some more to make the layout today. So let's look at this paper. I love this one, and I'm thinking about using this one today. So I love this. It's kind of ombre green, but in dots. And you know what this reminds me of is like bingo daubers, you know? That's what it kind of looks like. And then the back is this fun green. It almost has a batik feel to it. This is the other option I might use tonight. This is a really pretty peacock. Kind of like a pretty peacock that, say you painted your wall and then you kind of scraped at it. That's what it looks like. And the back is this. It almost looks like a ledger sheet. I don't know, but I think that's cloud cover. So this one, actually, this is definitely ombre, kind of a batik. This is what I used for my YouTube video that dropped today. My YouTube video that dropped today is, I made this card. It's an embossed quilt card is what I'm calling it, embossed quilt card. So you can see I use all of these colors to make that. Okay, and then the back side is, I think that's Secret Sea. Kind of a check color, so nice. But I'm not going to use this one because I don't have enough. Well, actually, I probably could use that if I wanted to. And then this one is nice. It looks like almost camouflage, but swooshes. I started making a St. Patrick's Day card with this, but I didn't finish it yet. And then another pretty peacock. It's almost like you took a paintbrush and swooshed, you know, and made a basket weave pattern. And then this one is nice. It's I would say a checked, let's see what colors is that probably. I would say crumb cake, a nice crumb cake. And then I love this paper. It's got some words. I think it's French. Oh no, it's English. It says, to soothe all its something, Phil was, I can't read it, but for the poor. So it is English, but in some really nice script. So, and then there was this paper here that I used. These are the pieces that I have left over. It's got this kind of swoosh design on the back, and then the front is a dark night of navy that you can see had just very little kind of background texture. Hi Diana, I just mentioned you. I said we just got home from eating at Reflections in I think that's probably Antioch. Antioch, yeah, I think it's Antioch. Have you ever eaten at Reflections? I know you said you ate at Bill's Pub last time. So, that's the paper, and then the sticker sheet that goes with it. And it's called Nature Walk, but since all of the paper is just background paper, you could use it for anything. Like, I could see this being used for Christmas. This, I think you could use for, like, a pool party or something. I think this would be cute for schoolwork. Right? It's all just very much generic. Not generic, but, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, background designs. So it is called Nature Walk. However, the sticker sheet is geared towards more nature, like take the road less traveled, no limits, view from the top, beautiful day, collect beautiful moments, no boundaries, unstoppable. It's got the little compass, so you can see this one's definitely geared towards travel and adventure. These are the pinpoints, you know, on a map. So their menu is, it has there's like a Polish section, like one page is Polish. It's got pierogies and things like that. But then they also have, I had a roast pork loin and a baked potato. My mom had fried shrimp, but they've got burgers and steaks. Tonight's special was a prime rib. They've got sandwiches, fish. They've got several. They have like walleye and maybe perch. They have a Friday fish fry. So it's nice, and it's right on the lake. I think it's right off of Grass Lake Road. So I'm not sure what that lake is called. Maybe Grass Lake. My mom might know. She is on here. But it's good. Oh, and they on Friday nights they have a piano player who sings. Tonight a guy came on and played the accordion. So they have a little kind of stage set up. I don't know. So it's nice, and you can look right out onto the water, so it's really pretty. Okay, who's ready to get scrapbooking? Like I said, I am using the Nature Walk paper suite. However, you could use, make this layout with whatever paper you have. It's a really good kind of general design, and you just fill in with the stickers or stamps or whatever that you have. Okay, I dropped the link to the paper and sticker sheet. I did have a resource page created. However, our DBWS back end page is it's not coming up. So I don't know if they're having technical issues, but I couldn't get it to come up. So there is actually other products that you can get to coordinate. There's a stamp set and a die set. But I didn't get it because I have this one. So I just used this, Scenic Adventures. When I checked last, it was still available. I'll check it out. But this is the one that has these dies with the mountains and the trees and the lake. So since I had this one, I didn't buy the stamp and die set. Hi, Dawn. Grab your paper and craft along, because I know you're always looking for designs for your cruise scrapbook. So you could, actually you could do this if you did any hiking or anything on your cruise, but you usually do beach beach cruises. But you could also do the same layout, but put, you know, cruise stickers and things. Maybe that stamp set is sold out. It's not coming up for me to link it. Okay, there's the whole suite. So I put the link with the whole suite. Okay, so let's pick our paper. This is, the two pieces here is pattern paper. So you need 2 sheets of pattern paper. And I was kind of thinking about this one, but I could do this one. Let's see what other paper I pulled. This is the paper I pulled to use, so. I think I'll stick with this one. Okay, so you need 2 sheets of your designer series paper and then 2 sheets of your background paper. I think I'll use the garden green as my background paper. Okay, so I think that's the decision I made. I'm going to use this as my background paper and then this as the designer series paper in the middle. Okay, let's work on this one first. So you need a sheet of 12 by 12 designer cardstock for your base. And then with your designer series paper, I cut this at 10 by 10. So let's cut off 2 inches. Off the top and bottom. Okay, then I'm just going to adhere this down. And since it's 10 by 10, that means there's going to be a 1-inch border all the way around. So I'm just using my Versamat here to eyeball it. Okay. Then we need, we're going to do this piece here. So this is my kind of coordinating cardstock. And that is cut at 3 inches. 3 inches by 12. So I think I decided to use this crumb cake. And then I put it at about 2.5 inches up from the bottom. Okay, so the bottom of this strip is 2.5 inches up. Okay, there we go. And then before you put on the photos or the photo mats, I did put a sticker strip behind. Now the thing about Stampin' Up! Sticker sheets, as of right now, they only have one of each of the sticker strips. So I cut this to make it last. I was able to get both sheets with one sticker strip. So I was kind of judicious about it. Trying to decide, yeah, I think I'm going to use this one. And here's what I did, is I cut this in half at 6 inches so that I kind of spread it out between the two layouts, 6 inches for one and 6 inches for another. If you are using a sticker sheet that has two sticker strips that match, you don't have to worry about this, but I'm trying to use one sticker sheet. Okay, so I'm going to use half for this page. And so for this one, let's see. I need about 3.5 inches. And I'm going to put that right here. I put it about 1/4 inch down. I'm not going to push on it until I've got my mats down. So, okay, and then let's put the other one on this side. Okay. Now let's work on our mats. So you need one piece that's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Two that are 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then one that's 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to use this old olive. I'm going to do 4 1/4 here. And then do 6 1/4. And then, okay, this is 4 1/4. We could do a 3 1/4. I have a little bit left over. Maybe I can use this for my decorations. So now I still need a 3 1/4 and a 4 1/4. Okay, let's do 3 1/4. My 4 1/4, and then by 3 1/4. Okay. So like I said, I have a 3 1/4 by 6 1/4, which is going to go about here. A 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, which I'm going to put here. A 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. That's going to go here. And then a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. Now I lined, first of all, these two, you want to kind of center so it fits on your 10 by 10 inch square. So you can see I have got a little bit here, a little bit there, about a 1/4 inch between the top, the middle, and the bottom. And then from the edge, this is about 1 1/4 inches from the complete edge. So we want to kind of move this over a little bit. And then these pieces, I started this one, it's going to match on the top, make that even. And then this one's going to be even on this side. You can see there's a little bit of space here that I left so we can make some decorations. Okay. Now before I put this down, I can kind of see where I'm going to put the other sticker. Like here I didn't go back and put any, but I think that, let's see. I think there's enough here that I can spare. That's why I didn't put it down very much. There we go. Again, that's all because I'm trying to use one sticker strip to go across both pages. So there we go. So I was able to make 6 inches work and go straight across. There's always a way to make things stretch, right? Okay, so let's start putting these down. Again, I'm trying to get like a nice even spacing around this, so about a 1/4 inch. Just like that. Okay, let's do this one. This is a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. And this time I definitely went with the greens. Here I did the blues and pecan pie. And then this one was 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. This one's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, there we go. Now I do have my photo placeholders. Guys, this is all I have left, so I'm really dreading the day I run out of these. So I need a 4 by 6 picture there. A 3 by 3 picture here. And then 2 3 by 4s. 3 by 4s are the ones that I have, I think, the least Although the 3x3s looks maybe, let me look at those, how many. This is how many I have left of these. Oh yeah, the 3x3s are getting down there. Okay, now this is the base of the page. So I'm going to stop and do the base of the other page, and then we'll decorate it all at once. Okay. Oh wait, I gotta put these down. I didn't glue these down. I'm going to have to start making these. I do have, I have the stamps to make these. The problem isn't the stamps. The problem is the weight of this paper. I like the weight of this paper because it's less than cardstock, but it's heavier than typing paper. I don't like to use typing paper on here, but that's what I'm going to have to end up doing. Okay, now we can move on to the next one. Okay, we're going to do this page. Who's crafting along? Let me know. Am I going too fast, or are you able to do it? Okay, again, I'm going to do the garden green as the base, and then this kind of green ombre from the nature walk. Hi, Jean. Okay, so this paper here on the inside, this is designer series paper here. It looks maybe looks solid, but it is DSP. I'm going to cut it to be a 10 by 10. So I'm going to cut 2 inches off of the side and 2 inches off of the top. And I'll save these. You could save it and maybe use it for my St. Patrick's Day card that I made for my YouTube drop today. You can go check that out, but this would be perfect for that. Okay, so let's adhere this down. And all these things papers are from the same suite, Nature Walk. I thought about using this because it's a nice kind of, I'm calling it batik-like. That would have been nice. Could have looked like grass or the forest or something, but I'm going to use this. Now, since this is 10 by 10, it's going to have a 1-inch border all the way around. So I'm using my Versamat, right? I'm eyeballing it there and there and there and there, and here and here, and here and here. Or you can measure it. Now for this page, I did a 4x4 and a 4x6, and then I have a 3x4 journal box. Okay. But first, let's cut this piece. Remember, this is 3 by 12. And this is crumb cake. This has very much the feeling of craft paper. It's a little bit different feeling than our other cardstock. So let's adhere this down, and you should adhere this piece down before you put in the photos, the photo mats. And if you remember on the other page, we put this so that the bottom is at 2.5. And it goes from side to side since it's 12 inches. Okay? Okay, now let's see if we can make that other part of the sticker sheet fit. Remember, I used half of it for the first one. I have put in the comment section on the Stampin' Up! Website that for these strips, we really want two. We want two of them because, you know, to put across a 2-page layout. Okay, so this one, it's 2 inches show, so I'm going to cut that. So let's just cut this into 2-inch segments. Well, no. I'm going to make this first one about 2.5. Because 2 inches to show. So then I put this down about a 1/4 inch. Okay, let's cut 2 inches off the right side. That's down too far. Let's see. Okay, and then I'm going to put this. This looks like it's straight at the 6 inches, so I'm going to put it right there. This is only because I was trying to use one strip. If you have a sticker sheet that's got 2 strips, you don't have to worry about it. I just pulled one of my old close to my heart sheets off, and you know, you see here how there's 2, right? You could put one across the whole thing and then this one across the whole thing, or there's even two down here. This is nice. I might have to remember that I have this. But my point is, if you have to, you don't have to go to this trouble. This is just so that I can make it work. Okay, now let's see. We need a piece that's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 and 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. So let's see, is this 4 1/4? Yeah, I have enough. Okay, so 4 1/4. 6 1/4. And then I have enough to make 4 1/4. So this one's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Let's see. This one, oh yeah, this one's 3 1/4. And I have enough to make 4 1/4. So I think I got all of that out of one sheet of Old Olive. So you are able to do it out of one sheet of 12 by 12 if you are careful. Okay. So this is the one we're going to use to guide us, the 4 by 4. I'm going to put it, leave about a 1/4 inch on top and bottom here. And then this piece should go here. Good. And then this piece, I did center it. Not really center it, but you know, I didn't make it go straight up like this. I kind of left it like this a little bit, kind of more centered. Okay, so start with this one here, the 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And again, I'm going to kind of try and make it even on the top and the side, about 1/4 inch. Now the 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, this is the journaling block. I used it as a journaling block. You could use it as another photo if you want to. So I'm leaving about 1/4 inch between, and then 1/4 inch on the side. And then if you did cut your sticker, you know, make sure obviously that it's covered on both sides. And then the last one, this one's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch in between, a little bit at the top, a little bit at the bottom. And then make sure that I'm covering the edges of that sticker strip. Okay, so let's find a 4 by 6 placeholder. And a 4 by 4. Okay, let's attach these and then I'll make a journal block. Okay, now here we need a piece of 3 by 4 basic white. Let me see if I brought some basic white out. Okay, I've got this piece here. Let's cut it 3 by 4. Okay. Now let's make this a journal block. I'm going to use my T-square. And what I usually do is I kind of line it up on my Versamat. And if you want, you can even adhere it a little bit so it sticks down. Although that can make your Versamat a little sticky. And then I use the lines on my Versamat to make the lines. Now you can leave this journal box blank, like you don't have to make the lines on it. I do because I'm not putting pictures on this right now. And I want to remember that I meant this to be a journal box and not a photo. I mean, when it comes time for me to put pictures on this, if I need to add another photo, you know, I obviously will, but I like to remember my intentions. I've got a lot of old scrapbooks, and when I go through and I see like there's a blank spot in it, I'm like, what was I gonna do there? Why didn't I leave myself a Post-it note? Okay, now this one you can tape all the way down because you're not going to be taking it off. Like these ones, I only put a little strip of adhesive, you know, down right in the center because these are going to come off. I'm going to put photos there, but this one isn't going to come off, so I'm taping it all the way down. Or if you decide that you're going to put a picture there, just, you know, put a placeholder there. Okay, I think we've got the base of both of these done. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this decoration. So let me do it this way. Well, I'll keep it this way since that's the left side. This seemed like a lot of space here to me. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take my Exploring Nature die set and make a little camp scene. Okay, so let's do that. But if you have a sticker sheet or you have something that you would like to use, you could. Like I could probably get away with using something like this and something like that. But I want to show you how I made these. So I'm going to cut, this is Misty Moonlight. I know I left out some Misty Moonlight, so let me see. This is what's going on the side every time I, oh, here we go. Every time I'm working, that's why sometimes I can't find things. Okay, so this is Misty Moonlight, so I use the back side of Misty Moonlight. And this die is about 5 inches, so I'm going to cut this to 5 inches. And it's a little bit easier to cut it ahead of time, and I'll kind of show you why. All right, which piece was a 5? This was a 5. Get out my stamp, cut, and emboss machine. Now, when you cut this, this doesn't cut the bottom of your shape. So, like if I put it here, the mountain is going to be this tall. If I put it up here, right, the mountain's going to be this tall. So this one is about at least 2 inches. Okay, there we go. I'll show you what I'm saying. And you can trim it when you're done, but it doesn't cut the bottom off. So okay, and you can see why I cut it to 5 inches. Because then it cuts the top off perfectly. Now you see how this is still here, so it gives me some space to put the rest of the trees and the grass on. Okay, so let's put that aside. Then I did these big trees here. Okay. And I use this sort of garden green. And this is, let's see, this is about 5 inches also. So let's cut this to 5 inches. have this set. Okay, the same with the other ones. The bottom is not cut off. So, you know, you want a little bit of space below it for the grass to sit. All right, let's see. So, see? So we're going to put this on here like that. And then I did the reverse side, the lighter side for this grass. So I'm going to cut this to 5 inches also. Now, if you have stickers or you have some other thing you want to put there, that's perfectly fine if you're using a different suite. Okay. And then I'm going to use this grass. Oh, the grass is a little bit shorter. That's okay. We can make it work here. Okay, there we go. And then you can just cut it. That's what it looks like when your piece is bigger than those. Like if I had cut a piece that was like 6 inches, it would have just stopped there, and then I would have had to trim it. Okay, we're going to trim this down anyway because it's only about 4 1/4 or something inches wide anyway. So. Okay, and then the last thing is I felt that it was a little bit blah, just like this. So I added the fire. Another option would be to add these. This is like little flowers, but let's add I got the little logs and then the fire. So this is pecan pie that I'm going to use to cut out the logs. And this is, I think, Daffodil Delight that I'm going to use for the flowers. Or the fire. Check out the log and the fire. Let's pop the fire out. There we go. So cute. Let's put these back. Okay, and then on this page, I cut out these 3 trees. So let's see. What if we try and cut the trees out of this? I don't know how that will be. Let's try. Because these ones I did were solid. just since I had this paper here, I started to think that might be cool. Okay, so this one, these trees come together. There's two. And then this one is on its own. There's also these tree stamps. There's 3 different tree stamps. So, you know, you could use these also if you want to stamp and cut it out. And then I think that's all of our die cuts. Ooh, actually, I really love that. Look at that. Now that looks like a designer tree. Although maybe I should have made it the same as the other ones, but. Okay, that looks really nice. And if we don't like how it looks, we'll just cut other trees out. Okay, so let's do this left-hand side. So what I did is I kind of glued these together how I liked it first, and to fit the space. So I'm going to leave it, that was a good amount here. I wanted it to stick up over my photo, but not too much. So that's good. Okay, so let's adhere this down. And for these trees, I kind of like to go this way. So you don't bend the trees. Okay. Then I'm going to place it on here how I like it. Let's see. Okay, good. Like that. And then this is going to go kind of underneath like that. And since this isn't quite as long, you want to put it in the area that you want to keep. Like I think I want to keep this part here. So I'm going to make sure this right side is totally covered. You know, I'm going to probably cut it off there. Okay, so this needs to be, let's see. Probably about 4.5 inches. Okay. So I'm going to cut this right side flush so that it can be flush up against this. Okay. And then, like I said, 4.5 inches. So let's measure it. Doesn't quite matter so much here. We could cut it off here. But you'll see I covered it. Let me show you. Oh, I covered it with these little kind of ribbons. Okay. Okay, now let's attach this to our base page. However, this part here that's going to be over, oh wait, am I on the wrong, I'm not on the right, it's on this part. I was like, wait, the photos don't match up. Yeah, it's on this part. Okay, that's better. So we don't need it quite that much. Let's see. Yeah, we need it more like 3.5. I measured the wrong page. I didn't realize that one was on top. Okay, so let's cut this at about 3.5. Let's cut it maybe 3 5/8. Okay. Okay, so now this part here, I'm not going to put adhesive on. Okay. And now that I'm using this as my guide, I think I'm going to cut this a little bit. Just a little bit. It's a little bit too tall. And I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch off. Ooh, let's hope that's okay. 1/4 inch. Okay, yeah, that's more perfect. Because I don't want it to cover like too much of this. Okay, but the point is I'm not going to put adhesive up here. So I'm going to put adhesive about from where these, you see how there's like these indentations from the die? I'm going to basically put adhesive here down. And I'm butting it up right up against this this mat and up against the bottom of the paper. Of the designer series paper there. See how it's right up against the bottom here and it's right up against here. But this, I could still put a picture on here because this is not adhered down. Okay, and then let's put the, here we go, the fire. I think that pop of color really helps. Okay, and I'm going to put it here in the part that's got the big bump there, but you can also pop the fire up if you want to on a dimensional. I'm not going to, but you can. Yeah, I think that pop of color is really nice. And I like the blue pop of color there too. Okay, now let's look at the stickers and see what we're going to use. So there is some sentiment here. Why don't we put the blue? I think it could use a nice blue there. What do you think? Okay, here's what I did. Let's do it. So let's make sure. Yeah, I think that looks good. So you don't want this to cover these up where you can't take the photo out, okay? So what I did is I took my mini dimensionals, mini Stampin' Dimensionals, and I put them right down the center. like that. And then those are what's going to go, you see there's going to be no stickiness on this paper, like where the photo's going to be. It's going to be in between the space. So these mini dimensionals allow that to happen. Just be careful when you put this down that you're not putting any of the dimensionals over here. See how this isn't blocking, and then this isn't blocked. Okay. Now, if you're putting your pictures down right now, then you don't have to worry at all about that. Okay, here I've got a little thing. Let's do maybe this one. What do you think? I was also thinking view from the top. I don't know. Let's do this one. And then this one, I used regular dimensionals. And actually I've got these side pieces here to use. So on this side, that's going to go up against the picture. I'm not going to take that cover off. Cut a piece here. Now this side, this one I am going to take off. And I might actually put one little piece right there. So these ones I'm going to take off, because that's going to go against the cardstock or the designer series paper. But this one I'm leaving on. See? So now it doesn't block that. Okay, and then to finish it off, let's do this. And there is another compass. It's a little bit smaller. I don't know. Yeah, let's do the compass. Oh, that's pretty small. Let's see how this one fits there. I think I'm going to do that. Let's do that one. Let's see if we can use the rest of these. This one, it doesn't matter if you put it all the way over. Because it's not going to be on top of the picture. I only worry about leaving the cover on the dimensional if it's on top of a picture. Okay. I like that. Now here what I did is I used this compass, so it's a little bit bigger, and then I just cut 2 pieces of cardstock ¾ of an inch by about 2 inches, 3/4 by 2 inches. I dovetailed the bottom. You can see how I dovetailed the bottom. And then I felt like it blended in too much, so what I did is I inked up the edges. Can you see that how I inked up the edges just to make it stand out a little bit more? So if you want to copy this one exactly, that's what I did. 3/4 by 2 inch, dovetailed the ends, and then I inked the edges. And this is the Misty Moonlight. Misty Moonlight. And then I put a little sprinkle sticker right there. There are some here. Let's put the one that says "Let's Go." There are these cute things here those would be cute too. Okay. So I think this left side is done. What do you think? Let me know what you think. Then we can move on to the next. Well, I thought this wasn't going to take very long today, and here we are. It's almost 8:15. Okay. So on this side, here I put these 2 stickers. I did use these 2 sticker flags. So let's see. We could use this one. I think this would be cute here. And then, why don't we add the compass on that one? Okay, let's do that. I'm going to put dimensionals here. And again, for these ones, I'm going to line up the dimensionals on both sides. Because one side we're going to leave the covers on and the other side we're not. Because it has to be adhered somewhat down to the page. Okay, so this is going to go here, so we're going to take these off. And I'm going to leave these here. But if I'm going to use this, I want to see where, there we go. See where we want to put it. Just put it like right about right there. Okay. And then I'm going to put a dimensional under there. I didn't mean for that to stick down really, but I'm going to leave the backing on because you can see it is on top of the picture, so that will stick down once we put our pictures down. Okay, and then let's put our trees over here. Actually, I think it looks really good with this here. Now these do have some little holes, so make sure these are all punched out. I think they all are. Okay. So this one I'm putting straight down on the page. And I tried to make it set on the bottom of this this piece here. And then this one I popped up. So I used some mini dimensionals for these ones. Okay, and I am going to take these backings off. I didn't put one at the very top, which you would have to cut the dimensional a little bit because this is going to be over the photo. That's sticking out a little bit on that side. And I don't want adhesive there. Okay. There we go. I'm going to put a little adhesive so it doesn't stick up in the air. Okay. And then there's the title down here. And I think I might use this. It's a smaller title, but I think it'll be okay. I didn't put these here, but I don't think I'm going to for this one. Okay, well, here we go, guys. We're done. What do you think? I think I love this one even more than the other one, and I loved the other one. I'm saving these for when we go to Portland. Or for when I do my Portland pictures from last year. Okay, well, if you completed this layout, please post a picture of it in the group. The Crafty Chemist presents Stampin' Up, or you can post it underneath the comments on this video. Couple announcements. I want to let you know that the new online exclusives dropped on Tuesday. So don't forget to check out all the new stuff. There's no catalog, so you have to look on the online exclusives. There's a tab for online exclusives, so you can check that out. The new catalog is coming out in May, the first Tuesday in May. There is going to be a change in the catalog distribution. They are only going to have 3 catalogs per year and no annual catalog. It's just going to be the 3 catalogs per year. So this one that's coming out in May, so May, June, July, August, so it's May through August. It will have all of the paper and all of the tools and everything in it. And then specials, you know, the designer series paper and stamps and things. But there just won't be an annual catalog that shows all of the things that are available all year. And then everything will be available until it sells out. Okay? Next week, we are doing a easy Easter cards. So here are the Easter cards we're making next week. This is using the Easter Joy Designer Series paper pack and the Easter Joy stamp and dies. I think they're called something different, maybe like Easter basket. So we are going to make these, or as many as we can in our hour. But we can make 6. Well, truthfully, you can make 12 because there's 2 sheets of this background paper. So, and then the last announcement is I did have a YouTube video drop today at 2 p.m. And it's how to make these embossed quilt cards. It's like a quilt block that's embossed. Here's a couple samples that I made. So go check out my YouTube channel, Crafty Chemist Designs, and you can see this video. Okay? So I hope to see you next week for the Easter cards, and then drop your photo of the scrapbook layout that you made. And remember, this was the Nature Walk Suite. Although the sticker sheet is Exploring Nature, so the suite might be called Exploring Nature. They, you know, the names are a little bit different, but the paper pack is Nature Walk. Oops, sorry. This is my favorite though, so. Okay, see you next week. Bye.